Prominent right-wing influencers are outraged over video of UFC boss and MAGA VIP Dana White giving a warm welcome to Andrew and Tristan Tate, who are under criminal investigation on human trafficking charges, which they deny. They deny any wrongdoing. But Tate has a long history of spewing hateful, misogynistic bile. Take a look.
If I were to get on a plane and that plane was to fly into the eye of a hurricane, there was a 50% chance of it crashing, I'd want a male pilot because I think that males are better under stress and under pressure.
You said that you could have multiple partners, but a female that was with you couldn't also have multiple partners?
I would personally find that revolting. I think if a man is not sexually exclusive, it's not the same as if a woman is.
My sister is her husband's property, yes. When a bride is walking down the aisle to marry the groom, the father walks next to her and gives her away.
So many voices on the right say embracing Tate is a betrayal of the party's values.
Oh.
So,
well, I think electing Donald Trump was a betrayal of the party's values. I mean, we crossed that bridge already.
Of which values do you speak?
I loathe these guys so much, and I want to say, I think it's because he has a weak chin. He's got this weird complex and has become... That is not what masculinity is. And men who think it is, newsflash, it is not. It is disgusting, it is bizarre. And I want to say, he's gotten pushback from some credible Republicans. So Governor DeSantis, when they landed in Florida, said, you are not welcome here. The Florida Attorney General immediately opened an investigation into these guys. They're being looked into for allegations of human trafficking. So for all the folks who, where are the Epstein files? Where are the Epstein files? Why do you praise these guys? Why do you follow them? Like, it's sickening to me.
Yeah, I hate that they always are linked to the term pro-masculine because it's not an equivalent to say you're pro-masculine and you hate women. Right. Like, that is not the same thing. I don't know who hurt this boy, but I mean, he's a grown-ass man. Excuse me, grown man now. But sorry, but something went wrong in his life because when you hear the things he says, women are intrinsically lazy. There's no such thing as an independent female. Women bear responsibility for being sexually assaulted. Women belong in the home. They're property of men. By the way, he needs to know how to look into social traditions. The reason men used to, fathers, walk their woman down was for that reason, because they were financially dependent on a man. Times they are changing, boo-boo, because my mom walked me down the aisle.
But let me say, the things they say is the least of it. I mean, in August 2024, the brothers were detained alongside 4 other people as part of an investigation into human trafficking, forming an organized criminal group, trafficking of minors, money laundering, and sexual intercourse with a minor. They were in Romania where they couldn't leave because they were going to face trial.
They were arrested in 2022 in Romania.
And reportedly, Donald Trump's special envoy, Rick Grenell, same guy who they sent to negotiate with Maduro in Venezuela, put pressure on Romania and lifted the travel restrictions. So what I would say to these conservatives, who I applaud and commend for speaking up against this, is they should be speaking up against Trump for having sent his special envoy to get these guys out. And thank you, Governor DeSantis, for kicking them out of Florida. There's a lot of other people who should be kicked out.
Can I add something else to that? The brothers, they're dual American and British citizens. They're also the subjects of a rape and human trafficking investigation in England as well. Of course, they have denied all wrongdoing.
Denied everything.
Well, one of the things, when we talk about people who write the things they write, the anonymous folks who write the things they write, and we always say, yeah, you can do that because you're anonymous. You can say all that stuff when you're not in front of a woman. But this is 2025, y'all. And those things, those ideas that you have, you're just not going to get away with them. See, you're not going to get away with them because all those little young men who say, your body, my choice, they don't say them to real people. They don't say them to real women.
They don't usually have relationships with
real people. Well, no, they
don't.
They
have a huge
and
social media following, though, I read.
Yes, but there are many people who feel like that's okay.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it's 2025.
Yeah.
And you can be in your feelings if you want to. I would not recommend walking up to any woman and saying any of this, because there's no guarantee that you will leave the situation with your teeth intact. I'm just saying, it's 2025. Grow up. The world is changing. Black people are not going anywhere. Women are not going anywhere. Gay people are not going anywhere. Trans people are not going anywhere. This is our country. And you know how we know? We know it's our country because we are allowed to be who we are. And so you can try to remove all the books and do all of that, but you're not going to kill the spirit. The spirit lives, y'all.